What's going on, people? Welcome back to another new, latest edition of the What the Fucking News and Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, JDBTv. I told y'all I was going to bring this format back because I could cover multiple topics that y'all want me to speak on, and some of them I want to speak on as well, but I like to do longer form videos, so it takes a little bit more time to do those videos. Okay? Well, I'm back with this particular podcast, and we have a number of topics that we're going to cover. But first and foremost, make sure that you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can see at the bottom of the screen my usernames on those particular platforms. You can follow me on SoundCloud too. I haven't really been posting anything to my SoundCloud, but I will make sure I link you to it, just so when I start putting audio versions of it up that you can download, I'll put it there. All right. Also, make sure you go to my Teespring store, teespring.com/unofficial JDB merch. You can get t-shirts and hoodies, okay? And hopefully no complaints, because we've had some complaints over a new shirt I put there for women to sort of encourage them not to live the thought lifestyle, right? Also, make sure you go to carmarshal.com. Over 100,000 new and used cars from different dealers. You can go and look up what you want. They'll negotiate prices and get you a good deal no matter what state you're in. If you're just looking for something, you can still go there and look. Nothing is stopping y'all from going over there and look for something. I know some of y'all may be looking for new cars. You probably don't like what's in your city. So just go to carmarshal.com, all right? Now, I want to say this before I get started on the topic. When I do videos, I put up content, I do it for the people who support me and for people who probably aren't familiar with me. I know that there's a lot of complacent fake followers and supporters who complain about every little thing that I do. Okay? But understand this. I make content for the people who really support me. Okay? Not for the people who claim to support me. They only show up every once in a while. Like, I would do live streams on certain topics, and that's when you will see certain people show up. I don't make content for you. So your complaints are not needed. Okay? Just like when I make the t-shirt for women, I'm not making it for dudes. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not as a male. Who cares? Keep your stupid opinions to yourself when it comes to things that are not relative to you. Okay? Because there's a lot of beta male energy flooding my channel, and I've been trying to get rid of that beta male energy. That's why I'm bringing back the disgruntled commenters videos, to highlight to everybody the type of mentality I don't want on my platform. We can say whatever we want about these females, but some of you dudes are messed up mentally. Just like what we're going to talk about with this first topic, with this guy wearing this dress to the Oscars. Now, here you have this guy, this male, who decided to go to the Oscars with a tuxedo dress. And that's what you're looking at right there. That is a tuxedo dress. Now, I know some of you have never really seen a tuxedo dress. Neither have I. But, I guess the Oscars, these award shows like this is a time where people can sort of live out fantasies. They can sort of, basically highlight their dysfunction or who they really are. And I guess this guy, you can tell his sexual orientation. And because, he was there, I guess, with his boyfriend. And he decided this would be a good thing to wear because he wants to go viral. He wants people to speak about him. Now, he's an actor and singer by the name of Billy Porter. Okay? Now, he was there at the Oscars. He's been in a couple of TV shows. I think he's in American Horror Story. He was in Law & Order SVU. So he's sort of an actor in the business. I think he's also a singer as well. And the thing is with this, he's getting praise. People are praising him. And people always praise black men when they can, downgrade their masculinity. That's what you see in the media. You see them highlight black men who are willing to put on dresses and put on wigs in order to show off their dysfunction, which makes us look bad as a whole. Now, I want people to understand, I have no issue with this guy wanting to express himself. I mean, I'm a creative person. I'm pretty sure he's a creative guy. He wants to be creative, but this is not good for us as a whole. I mean, you don't see a lot of white actors, whether they're straight or gay or whatever, showing up wearing tuxedo dresses. Okay? But you will see a black male go above and beyond for the attention of the mainstream media, and that's where we're at. This was an attempt to get people to speak about him, which we're doing, but it's just the media is going to give this praise. These white liberals are going to give it praise. You're going to have black feminists, or women with black feminist ideology that's going to give this praise because they like to see a man downgrade his masculinity, And I just thought that was very weird, but that just shows you the type of times that we are in these days. It definitely does. Speaking of Oscars, let's go to Black Panther. Shout out to Black Panther. They get a round of applause from me. They said they got nominated with 7 awards, but I only see nominations for 6. But they did win 3 awards at the 91st Academy Awards. They won Best Original Music Score, Best Costume Design, and Best Production Design. Which is fine, right? I really loved the Black Panther. I really did. I thought it was a very good movie as far as for what they were trying to do. They were able to weave together a pretty good story. A lot of the actors brought their A game. There was really no drop off as far as the acting, the action. At times, it did take a while to get to the action, but when it was there, it was there. But of course, you're gonna have people who aren't gonna like this. Black Panther was up for Best Picture, and there were people like, "Oh, why would you have a Best Picture?" As if anybody went and saw the other movies that were in the category. Be that as it may, I think for the impact that Black Panther made, it needed to be in that category. I don't care what any of these, Marvel fangirls say, because you got a lot of these guys who are taking it to the extreme to diss this movie, just cause they're against social justice. But there was nothing really social justice about this film. Did they highlight the women a little bit too much in this film? A little bit, but they didn't overdo it. They're not Captain Marvel in it. You know what I'm saying? So I think people could sometimes be idiots. But I will say this though. One thing did bother me. This movie was directed, written, and basically starred with black men, but not one black man won an award. Ludwig Göransson, I'm gonna call him Göransson, Looks like he has a Norwegian name, but his name is Ludwig. All right, he won Best Original Music Score. All right, Best Costume Design went to Rachel E. Carter. Best Production Design went to Hannah Beachler. Now, one of those were black men. That was my gripe about that. That was my gripe. And the thing is with me is that I have no problem with them winning awards. I have a problem with, the brothers that really worked hard to put this film together, to weave together a good story, to direct it, to basically carry it. Because let's be real, Eric Killmonger was the star of the film. He was the guy. He set himself apart in this as, one of the best Marvel villains ever, So that's one thing that bothered me, but I really like the fact that they won at least 3 awards, which is good because they had a really good year last year. They were the story of 2018 in Hollywood. They really were, with the billions that they made. So I'm really happy they was able to win, man. It was good to see that, you know. So shout out to them. I think they did a really good job with the film. Like I said, everybody brought their A game, and that was really good to see. All right, let's talk about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris and her father at odds. Apparently, she was on the Breakfast Club, and they asked her about the legalization of pot because, you know, I think that she has, you know, she's running on a very liberal campaign, and people want to know her stance on that because just like with what I'm going to speak about with prostitution, I think that weed should be legalized. I think that you can put a cap on it. I think that you should allow it to be sold with businesses as long as those businesses check out, as long as those businesses handle their paperwork, paying taxes. There's no reason why you cannot have that, you know, distributed in a lot of these states, you know. But be that as it may, she made some comments that ruffled some feathers with her father. Apparently, she basically said that because, you know, they asked her about smoking weed because she talked about smoking weed in college. She said that she smoked weed while listening, by listening to, I believe, Tupac and Snoop Dogg. What she said, right? Even though she was in college in the 80s and Tupac and, you know, Snoop wasn't making any music in the 80s, you know. But that just shows y'all that Kamala Harris culturally does not know anything. You know, she's a robotic, you know, a district attorney who slept her way to the top, you know, who basically got her start messing around with Willie Brown, you know, and has been able to get her in a position to where she's at now, you know, and she does not understand black culture. She really does. She doesn't understand popular culture. She's being told and fed what to say and do. And you can tell she's been told what to say and do by people who don't understand pop culture them damn selves. Okay? So she's making these comments. She's speaking on the Breakfast Club. She basically says that because half her family's Jamaican, of course she smokes weed. And that ruffled her father's feathers because her father, I believe, is a doctor. And he's like, what? What? How can you say that? That's very disrespectful. To say that because you're Jamaican, that means that you smoke weed. That is a stereotype, which it is a stereotype. But again, Kamala Harris does not understand pop culture. She really doesn't. She does not understand the ins and outs of pop culture. See, nobody on her team really got to really talk to her and tell her, listen, you know, these are certain things that you should say, and these certain things you should stay away from. These are certain facts. But they did not do that. She's out here looking bad out here, you know. So he then puts out a statement basically disassociating himself from Kamala Harris. And that's sad that your own father distancing himself from it. What it seems to me is that he distanced himself from her a long time ago. I believe he distanced himself from her a long time ago, which is sad. But I think him and Kamala, they haven't been able to get along with each other probably for a long time. They haven't been able to get along with each other, you know, and it's sad, but he probably feels like it's for the best. It's for the best that he stays away from her, that he has no dealings with her. That's why it's easy for him to disassociate with her. He does not want her ruining his reputation. And y'all notice the media is okay with it. As long as, you can throw your father on the bus. If you have a strained relationship with your mother, they're going to chastise you and they're going to make it seem like something is wrong with you. They're going to make it seem like something is wrong with you for not having a good relationship with your mother. But with your father, forget him. He's not that important. That's how society paints fathers these days. And he probably is remarried already, probably has kids and grandkids, another woman. Just a very strained, pitiful situation. But again, this is why Kamala Harris should not be the black people's choice to be, a person to vote for in the upcoming 2020 election, even though she's CNN's chosen one. she's no Obama. Obama had charisma. Obama's a talker. She's not. Those are her weaknesses. She does not have charisma. She's not a good talker. And until she gets a better team around her, they're going to continue to make her look crazy out here, which she actually does. But anyway, let me get to the next topic. Let's talk about Robert Kraft. That's Robert Kraft there, his son next to him. He was busted in basically a sex trafficking ring, buying strange from a masseuse at a masseuse parlor. Now, this is according to New York Times. Patriots owner Robert Kraft charged in a Florida prostitution investigation. Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, was charged with 2 counts of soliciting sex from a prostitute. The charges were part of a broad investigation into prostitution and human trafficking in day spas and masseuse parlors in Florida. Robert K. Kraft, the billionaire owner of the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, was charged on Friday with 2 counts of soliciting sex as part of a wide-ranging investigation into prostitution and suspected human trafficking in South Florida. The charges against Mr. Kraft, 77, Jupiter, Florida, came after the police used video surveillance to observe activity inside several day spas and masseuse parlors. The police said that the parlors had been used for prostitution and that many of the women involved were considered victims. Let me just say this. You know, this is embarrassing on a lot of levels. You would think somebody with the reputation of Robert Kraft, who has done what he has done in sports, would not put himself in a position to look like this. But we got to understand Robert Kraft, you know, he's been all, you know, in the forefront in the media ever since a little bit before the Super Bowl, when he was, you know, cool with Meek Mill. You know, he's on stage with Cardi B. He's walking around with a Dream Chasers chain. He just been out there. Now, I don't know if Robert Kraft knew about these charges in advance and he just wanted to put himself out there to sort of make it seem like, oh, he's the crazy old, you know, billionaire just out there doing whatever, you know. Because if so, then, you know, maybe that's why, you know, he was doing the things that he was doing. But be that as it may, I just want to know this. Why is it that the government is going at Backpage, they're going at Craigslist, you know, to stop the adult sexual services that are going on those pages? They're going after these massage parlors now. Why are they going at and arresting the men who are paying for those services and not the people who are putting all of this into motion, the trafficking of humans? Why aren't you going hard at the people who are trafficking the humans? It's almost like they're trying to punish heterosexual men. Again, I'm not talking about the men who's looking for young girls. I'm talking about the men who are exchanging money with, you know, for services from adult women. You know, wouldn't surprise me at all if they crack down on strip clubs. You know, it's almost like they want to put men in a position to marry women or be in relationships and not go out and be single. You know, that's why they come down on men, hard on men who are single when it comes to paying taxes. You know, that's what I want to know. Why aren't we not going this hard at the people? And we all know why. Because there are people in high level positions, in entertainment and whatnot, that are a part of these trafficking rings. We need you to go hard at them, not the people who are paying. Now paying, I'm not a proponent of paying to sleep with a woman. You know, I've never done it, and I'm not saying you should do it. But I'm saying if a guy makes a choice to use his money a certain way, why is he getting punished for that? The investigation involved several law enforcement agencies and resulted in raids and arrests connected to nearly a dozen businesses in the region. At least one person was charged with human trafficking. Others, including several women, are accused of racketeering and money laundering. More than 24 customers, men ranging in age from their 30s to at least one in their 80s, in one in his 80s, have been arrested. Hundreds have been charged, the police said. You know, I did a video about this Birmingham Iron football player of the AAF who was arrested in a prostitution ring down in Alabama right before his first game. And once again, it is good that, you know, you're putting an end to what would be a part of these trafficking rings, but we got to go at the ring leaders too. A spokesperson for Mr. Kraft and the Patriots released a statement saying, "We categorically deny that Mr. Kraft engaged in any illegal activity. Because it is a judicial matter, we will not be commenting further." Robert Kraft has always been a guy who has been a bit, you know, of a partier. You know, this guy was giving a speech, and, you know, it was very slurred. You can tell he had been drinking earlier. I mean, it looks like he, you know, might still, you know, drink here or there, you know, even at his age. You know, the guy dates extremely young women in their 20s or 30s or whatnot. I think there was even a rumor that he had got this woman pregnant, which happened to not be true. You know, Robert Kraft is a guy who, you know, he enjoys having money. He enjoys, you know, being a celebrity and being in these celebrity circles. You know, this is why you see him on stage with Cardi B and hanging out with Meek Mill. That's just who Robert Kraft is. And what's interesting was that even after all of this, he was still going to parties. That's Robert Kraft, man. And people are saying that, you know, this could destroy the New England Patriots. Let me tell you something. As long as, you know, either Bob Kraft or his son is running that organization, they're allowing Bill Belichick to do what he do, Tom Brady, you know, Josh McDaniels, whatnot. As long as those guys are there, I don't see a lot of drop off. I really don't. They just won the Super Bowl. Even after a season that would be considered above average to good because of the losses that they had. You know, but I just think that people are looking at this and looking for a reason to go at Robert Kraft and say, "Oh, look at the NFL owner. Look what he did. This is the end for them. This is embarrassing for the NFL." I mean, we might not even care about this in a couple months. Once training camp gets started in July, will we care about this? Everybody's going to find something else to be fake caring about. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but I'm saying the guy is a billionaire Jew. What do you think is going to happen in this situation? Okay? Now, is this embarrassing? Yes, it's very embarrassing. But is it going to hurt the NFL long term? Unless there are other owners that are who got busted in this sting operation that they were doing, I highly doubt it's going to really affect them in the way that y'all think it is. I know y'all want something to affect, but come on, man. The guy is still going to parties. I mean, he's not even shying away from this. You know? He is not shying away from this at all right? Now, last topic I'm going to discuss has to do with this guy, Justin Fairfax. Justin Fairfax, okay, is comparing his situation to modern day lynching because he's being accused of assault by, I believe, 2 different women. And what's very interesting about this guy trying to invoke the race card and why I think y'all should reject it is because the guy who, you know, the governor, because he's lieutenant governor of Virginia, that guy was, you know, basically was wearing blackface when he was younger. And people want him to step down because of it. And he hasn't stepped down yet. And it's very ironic, or very whatever, that right when the heat got hot on this guy, all of a sudden you see these accusations come out of nowhere against Justin Fairfax. Now, maybe these women saw that he could potentially become governor and they wanted to go forward. I don't know, but why wait now? It just, the timing of it. The timing of waiting to where you see that the standing governor may lose his position and the lieutenant governor may take his spot. So now you want to come out and speak about what's going on with Justin Fairfax. Now, according to the New York Daily News, Virginia's Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax compared sexual assault accusations against him to racial lynchings. A peculiar choice, considering his boss, the governor, is being pressured to resign following the revelation that he wore blackface on at least one occasion. If he's done it once, he's probably done it twice. He probably calls blacks coloreds and N-words behind their back, like a lot of these Democrat politicians do. The state's attorney general also admitted earlier this month that he attended a party wearing blackface. All three men are Democrats, and Fairfax is African American. Fairfax made his claim as the Senate closed their 2019 legislative session in Richmond, according to the Associated Press. This Negro said, "I've heard much about anti-lynching on the floor of this very Senate where people were not given any due process whatsoever," and reruled that. He said in a room full of what the AP described as stunned senators who awkwardly sat in silence. Because he's invoking the race card. This is how you're able to get one up on your political opponents. Democrats have been doing it for years. Now also say that two women have accused Fairfax of sexual assault. A woman who came forward earlier this month claimed the politician forced her to perform oral sex in a Boston hotel room nearly 15 years ago. A second woman accused Fairfax of assaulting her when they were both students at Duke University in 2000. Fairfax has denied any wrongdoing. Listen, due process is what is needed. I'm not one of those people that's going to rush to judgment. That's why I haven't spoken about this. I think that time needs to go in this situation so we figure out what's going on before we make any judgments of this particular situation. I just find that the timing of all this to be very peculiar. I myself, not just the article, but I find it very peculiar too. That this guy who is the lieutenant governor of Virginia, who could have been in line to be governor, unless by some chance he wouldn't be able to, now has these particular accusations. Now they're calling for his job too. You know what's very interesting is that assault is being used to get men's positions of power taken away. Racism is being used to take these guys' positions of power away. Have y'all found that interesting? Because I have. Because that's what's going on nowadays. You know? But I want to know this from Justin Fairfax, man. What is it with you and these other guys invoking race? You know, are you trying to hold on to your positions or to your butter biscuits? He said he's trying to hold on to both. He wants his position and his butter biscuits. Shout out to everybody for tuning in, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Make sure y'all like the video. Say like stream, like the video. Follow me on social media. Make sure you become a patron and continue to support and help me build this platform to be bigger and better than ever. I will see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.